Welcome back to the Rough Example Datsun project. Got a few updates for you. I've kind of been slacking, been trying to keep my C55 on the road that I bought the other day. The fuel pump went out, of course, and left me stranded, but that's back in business, so now I'm back working on this car. Um, as you'll notice, the fenders are once again off of the car. I think I've gone back and forth on that like 7 or 8 times now. But I had to take those off so I could put the doors on. Um, so my friend Marcus was over here earlier today, and we were working on getting these doors fitted up. Um, we had to basically just coat everything in tape just to be safe on it because it's so easy to mess up your new paint job when you're doing this. But we were able to get this door hung, and it seems like it's looking okay. The gap right here is a little larger than I would have liked. So I'm curious to see how it's going to go putting the fender on. It's always kind of difficult doing the door and then the fender and just getting all of these panels to fit correctly. So I'm a little nervous with how difficult these fenders have been to work with. The other side, I got to do a little bit more dialing in on it. This one, you can tell that the hinge has just kind of been more worn out, probably because it's the driver's side. It's kind of hard to see there, but it's got a lot of play in the hinge, just from 50 years of getting in and out of the car. And so yeah, it's kind of sitting a little bit high right here. So I've got to just lower this down a little bit to get that looking good, and then reinstall the fender. But it just feels so good to have the doors on there because I've had them sitting on the floor in the garage, and I'm just waiting for someone to come walking in here and step on them or drop something on them. So I feel like they're kind of out of harm's way now, at least. So tonight I'm going to work on trying to get the fenders back on there. I've also been working on doing the tail light restoration. So here's the old one. You can kind of see the before and after on there. It definitely cleaned up pretty well. These taillights are not super cheap. I mean, I think a pair of these is $500 at least. So it's definitely worth salvaging them if you can. And like even on the insides here, you'll notice like you just see how nasty that is. Like I just gave this a nice scrub down with a toothbrush and some dish soap, and then I followed up with a magic eraser, and that actually cleaned up the white plastic really well. So I would definitely recommend doing that. And so yeah, this is kind of what I work on when it's too cold and I just need to do something inside, in the house where I can be warm and work through that. But I'm going to post a video on all the details of how to restore one of those. And I also got the turn signals mounted up in the front, and I cleaned up the wiring as best I could, just with some soap. And there's a soap called Crud Cutter that I use that works really well on that greasy stuff. It'll even get the nasty greasy film off of your range hood, like in your kitchen. So if it can get that, it can get about anything. So that's kind of the updates on the body. I got my new emblems on there. That was kind of satisfying to click those on there. And I also got my seats that I'm going to be restoring and using for the car. These are from an E30 sport package BMW. I'm going to try and make these work without cutting the car up. A lot of people say that these sit really high because it has this has this big like height adjustment mechanism right here, and yeah, when you twist that, it kind of adjusts a little bit. And this adds a lot of height, which can be problematic in the Datsuns because you already have the seat is sitting about that high off the floor, and so you don't want to be like smacking your head on the ceiling. So I've got to figure out a smoother, some kind of way to eliminate all of this and get it sitting lower. And the previous owner had kind of started down that path. You can see he'd cut them off. And, I'm not totally sure what his game plan was, but I'm assuming he was going to weld on, maybe weld the track straight onto this tab right here or something, just to get him sitting a little bit lower. But I got a pretty good deal on these seats, and I like the look of them. Obviously, they're going to get recovered in something else. It'll probably be a black leather, but there's tons of kits for these on the market. Just very, very popular seat that a lot of people use for these kinds of projects. And I feel like they've got a deep bolster, but just it's a little bit more retro looking than a Recaro out of like a Mark II Volkswagen. So I thought I'd give it a shot and see if I can make them work. So yeah, that's kind of the updates for the week. I will keep you posted with anything else I've got going on throughout the week, and I'll be posting on the Instagram as well at Rough Example. And thanks for watching.